10, 9.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RxMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio.
Welcome to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, by the technician Chris Aceto on this October 30th, 2017 afternoon. And Chris, it is almost Halloween, which is the mark. I always mark Halloween's always to my mark to the, I guess you could say, to the holiday season. Some people say it's Thanksgiving. For me, it's Halloween. Even though I don't really celebrate Halloween anymore. I haven't gone trick-or-treating in years, although it sounds like a pretty good idea.
Hulk, I'm sure, but go ahead.
I would. My son and I would go as the Hulk and Hulk Jr. You saw that video that him and I did. Yeah,
I did. I have to say this is the B version of Heavy Muscle Radio, because when you started, you said welcome back.
Yeah. Well,
like we took a break because we have a pre-show,
right? And
we can't really air the pre-show because it's too. Lives would crumble.
Yeah.
I mean, because the amount of legal and illegal gossip.
And the speculation that we make on the pre-show people would pay money to see that, probably, or listen to it, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
So, we can't even
I paid money to hear it.
Yeah. So Halloween, Halloween.
So I was watching the Kardashian show before. My wife likes to watch it.
What, tonight?
Yeah. Were you?
My wife was watching it. Your wife could have Skyped my wife, and
you know that they just signed.
I only watched it when they were in Miami, so I could watch see if I recognize anything.
Yeah. The new season, they just signed $150 million for the year, divided over the family. And Kris Kardashian, the mother, is the agent. So usually agents take 15%. She only takes 10%. So she made $15 million right off the top. That goes in her pocket. Plus, she gets a paycheck for her role in the show. Now, how they apportion that whatever is left, $135 million that's left, is up to the family, I guess. I'm sure Kim gets the most, and and it gets doled down, accordingly. But that's a lot of freaking money, But I'm thinking, if we air the pre-show, maybe we could charge, maybe Bader would pay like $1 million, per episode.
$1.95. We could do a pay-per-view. We just couldn't bash him. That's all.
That's true. Yeah, if he's going to finance it, we couldn't bash him. Or maybe we could. Maybe it would be good for business. I don't know. Speaking of Bader, I saw that one of your guys, Regan Grimes, has been poached. Would be a good term.
Yeah, he's off in Kuwait. They were able to entice him over with the free rent, free food, and free anabolics.
Yeah. Well,
notice I didn't say anabolic chicken. I just said anabolics.
It's a good deal if you think about it.
It's a great deal,
especially if you have no money.
Dave. He asked me, should I go? What do you think I said?
Yes, just like I told the team. I said, go. Are we crazy? Of course, go.
I said, you're nuts.
It's a great opportunity.
Nuts. Dave. I use the word great, word for word. That's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark. Same thing I told De La Rosa when he went over there.
What's the bodybuilder's dream? To not work.
To not work, eat, sleep, and train. Dave, right. You hit the... You know what? People used to go to where before Kuwait? Just to eat, sleep, and train. Venice. And why would they go to Venice? Because they could train alongside so-and-so. So if you get a chance to train between Ramy and Rolly, the Twin Towers of...
back in the Venice days, you had to pose naked for gay guys to get the money, and for Bader, it's easy. You don't have to do anything. You get the money and you get the free everything over there. So that's great. I mean, it's a great opportunity. I always tell people, like, that's why when Akeem asked me, I said same thing you did. I didn't even hesitate. I'm like, go. He's like, you sure? I said, go. What are you, crazy?
That's what I said.
And you know how many people?
I say that about every. I think really, honestly, I thought about it, and I think. Anyone I work with, my budget's zero, by the way. They'll probably spend like $400,000 on Reagan. I said, but my budget with him was I spent zero.
You made money, I think.
Yeah, I made
a little bit.
But I don't know why anyone would actually want to work with me if they had the opportunity to, the flip side,
Well, not everyone wants to go overseas. Not everyone wants to go to Kuwait.
I know, but I mean, how big of a sacrifice is it really?
Well, if you have a family, it's a sacrifice. If you don't have a family, and you're a young guy like Regan, then it doesn't matter. You can go there and you have no regrets. You Skype your girlfriend, like Hakeem did, every night. It's worth it. I think so. I have. You know how many people contact me? This is serious. You know how many people contact me daily and ask me how to get in touch with Bader?
Yeah, really.
And I have Bader's cell phone number. I never give it out.
We should fill out a mock application. It should be like.
Or how about we have like a show like America's Got Talent? We can field like the top 10 people.
A talent pool.
Well, we'll get them on the radio. We'll interview them, and we'll say, why do you feel that it's you are a good candidate for auction? And we can vet the people for Bader. And then if we find good candidates, we'll send them to Bader. Maybe Bader could sponsor the show. It'll be like a whole like America's Got Talent thing. America's Got Talent. If you're good enough, right, they give you the gold star, and you go to Hollywood or whatever, Vegas or whatever they have.
Well, you could go into like the weigh-in room of the NPC Nationals, and you could do like remember when. Who's the host of the Tonight Show?
Johnny Carson?
No, but after Johnny Carson, of course.
Jay Leno?
When he used to do jaywalking, and he'd say, you could walk into the Nationals like jaywalking, Dave walking, and say, Kuwait borders what state in the United States? And people would say, Hawaii?
No, but the truth is, seriously, we could vet the people on the show, and we'll ask really tough questions too. And if people give us the right answer, and we look at their physique and we analyze it, and we think that it's got potential, then we could say, okay, Bader, this is an up and comer, has no money. That would be one of the things. You'd have to say you're poor, because if you have a lot of money, then that would disqualify you. Might disqualify you from the process. So. And we'll send him out there. Imagine Kai Green when Kai Green was first coming up and he had no money. Remember, he was blacking. He was basically posing naked for Bleckman, for money. So that's not true. I just made that up. But he was basically begging Bleckman for money, because he couldn't, pay his food bill. And Bleckman gave him like $50 a week or something like that. And that's why Bleckman said, I made him. I gave him an opportunity. But if Bader was around, Bader would have had him out there in 2 seconds. Kai would have been probably Mr. Olympia 3 times over already, with some cash behind him. He had to do it the old-fashioned way. He had to win a couple shows actually to get. It took him longer to do that, obviously. So look, it's a good. I think it's a good opportunity for Regan, and I would recommend. Like I was saying, there's so many people contact me on a daily basis, and I won't give them Bader's information. I tell them to Instagram them. I don't know. It's not my place, but if we had
I'll read his cell phone number. It's 974-01138. I'm just kidding.
It's Bleckman's cell phone. Just kidding. So getting back to Halloween, every year I like to dress up as something. I haven't dressed up. Well, last year on Halloween I was actually driving a truck from New York to Florida with my snakes. That was what I did on October 31st, and then I got here on the 1st of November.
I remember 1 or 2 escaped. 1 or 2 snakes escaped.
About 10 of them, or 15 of them in the truck got out, but I found all of them except one. Still to this day, one's missing.
So I was right, one.
Yeah. One. And you're telling me, and I didn't realize it, but this is supposedly the 5th anniversary of Hurricane Sandy, too?
Yes, because we are having... New York, yes, it's the 5th year anniversary. And New York is having a tropical storm. Really? Well, I'm glad I'm not in New York. Although I just mustered a crazy hurricane down here myself. Luckily, no damage. So. I know. It's crazy. The difference in Florida is that people know about hurricanes here. They're ready for it. If you're, especially if you buy a good house or you know that there's precautions you take with your house. In New York, they're just like, fuck it. We don't get hurricanes enough to even worry about it. We'll build these houses wood frame any way we want, not worrying about it. And so when the hurricanes come, and they get destroyed, basically, because no one's hurricane ready up there. No. So my son's too young to trick-or-treat. He's also afraid to put the Spider-Man costume on I got him. I have a video of him, hysterically crying with the costume on. I don't know. But he likes when I put the mask on, the Spider-Man mask. Although he likes when I put the Hulk thing on. You saw the Hulk mask. But he doesn't like to put the costumes on himself, so... I might have to wait till next year with him with that.
I see your son was dressed as one of the ninjas that took out Flex Wheeler.
Yeah, it was I didn't want to add that, but he was a ninja.
I liked it. It was a good costume.
Yep. And
the costumes are much better nowadays than they were when we were kids, right?
We just made them when I didn't have any money, so right.
No.
Parents didn't have any money because we just made. I was usually like a bum or something.
But we had the costumes, and they would come in like the supermarket. You'd buy them. It was like this plastic piece of, and it had like a string on it. You know, it had that little stretchy like rubber bandy string, and you'd have the mask on. It was you would be suffocating with the thing on. And what would happen every single year was that the string, which was stapled onto the side of the mask, would always come off the staple, and you'd be trying to like work it through that staple again and try to knot it on there, but you can never get it on there. My head was always so big as a kid that I couldn't. If I lost a little slack on the string, forget about it. I couldn't get it back on there. You try to tape it with Scotch tape. Your mother would try to do it, but it wouldn't work, and it was and the bottom part of the costume was like made of like it was like a shower curtain basically material. It was horrendous. Nowadays the costumes are cool. They look like they're made with really nice fabric, and they have like the muscles in them for the different superhero characters. I'm pretty impressed. I got to be honest.
There's a bigger choice too now.
Yeah. So. The Spider-Man was a good one. I think the Iron Man one was kind of cool.
And they trick or treat more than once. You know that, right?
No one's trick or treated. I thought today was supposed to be trick or treat day here because they do it on the weekends here. But no one came to my house, luckily, because I didn't have any candy ready. I got to be honest with you, wasn't ready for it.
You can just give them that fiberlize from the Amin's pot-based.
That's a secret, Chris. We're not revealing that yet.
That's the 2.0 show. That's the $1.99 show.
That's right.
That's a pay-per-view show.
I did have, speaking of Amin, I did have Amin Alai on the Live With the TV show. He had a terrible connection. I was yelling at him. He was doing it from his phone, and I guess he's out of the loop. So he was apologizing profusely. So people who were complaining about the audio, I'm sorry about that. It wasn't my fault. It was his fault. And for those who don't know who Amin is, he used to work with Craig Titus when Craig was an amateur, and Don Long and King Kamali. And then when they got to be pros, I don't know. He was around all the time, and I mean he was like the George Farah of the day, really, in terms of his communication skills. And then he disappeared for a while, and so I saw he came back. He was doing some stuff, some videos with the big Tony Huge over there with EnhancedAthlete.com, and I saw him at a show, and he's like, we should do an interview, and I'm like, all right, fine, yeah, I like talking about the old days. So I got him on. We were talking about the old days of when he worked with Craig, and do you know why he stopped working with Craig?
No idea.
Because Craig got arrested. Remember, Craig got arrested for selling ecstasy? I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
And he was setting people up, I guess, according to Amin. And I guess
do remember that.
He tried to set Amin up, so Amin just disappeared. Who knows? What really went on? But I could definitely see Craig doing that. But Craig wound up going to. I think he set up a few people, but he went to jail anyway. I don't remember what he did. What did he do? A year or something like that, or a year and a half? So. A lot of people don't remember Craig was in jail.
When did he win? When? Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did it in. I'm trying to think. It had to be in the 90s. It was before. I want to say.
Had to be before he turned. Yeah, before.
No, it was after
pro,
he turned.
Right?
It was after he turned pro. It was after he turned pro.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Right. Yeah, because when he got out of jail, that's when he got together with Kelly Ryan and started dating her. And he said, "Oh, I found this great fitness girl." He told Greg Kovac the story. I found this great fitness girl. I just got to get her some plastic surgery, and. He's the one who got her to do all those, lip operations and boobs and this and that, and that was the beginning of the end for the two of them, really.
No.
Kelly's out. We talked about that. I'm still looking for maybe I'm looking for a contact. If anyone has a contact of Kelly, I'd love to get in touch with her and see if she wants to do an interview. I'm preparing the Barbara Walters of bodybuilding interviews with her. I got plenty of questions to ask. I don't know if she'll ever want to do it or not. People say don't interview her. She's a killer. I'm like,
people say what?
They kill people all the time. People kill people all the time. What's the difference? I want to know what happened. Don't you? She's the only one who really going to tell. Craig ain't going to tell anything. Craig's in jail for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
She's the only one who.
I did hear that he prepped OJ for
OJ's comeback in the men's physique division. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, he did a diet for him, right?
Yeah, he did. He made him help
Which he
him lose
probably
100
used a
pounds.
means technique.
He saw
Mean
Means
was the first
diet.
guy prepping him.
You're right. Do you think that? What if OJ decided to do like the? What is he? 60 now or 70? OJ, he's 70.
I don't know.
What if he did the over 70 bodybuilding? Because he's got good genetics, OJ. You think they'd let him win? Good
No.
No, you think they would mark him down because of the his storied past?
Well, I mean, they probably wouldn't let him compete, right?
If Kai didn't win the Olympia because of a grapefruit, I guess OJ would, But it would certainly be the most popular Masters Nationals of all time.
You'd have to bring back Art. Was Art your client? Art.
No, yeah, but I worked with him once, but I didn't work with him. So. Gutierrez, yeah. He can go, and then he can go against Art right in the Masters Pro division. Once he'd have to turn pro first.
Well,
if OJ called you, would you work with him?
No, well, I said no to Craig Titus. Said how.
But Craig wasn't a killer then.
How good? I know, but how good judgment was that?
Very good.
He was so crazy.
Well, OJ was never convicted of murder, only of armed robbery.
Yeah, but I mean, the point was neither was Craig Titus. But I said no because I could feel, right?
Yeah.
I don't have much intuition, but you know.
But what if OJ said, "Look, Craig, I'm Craig. Look, Chris, I served my time. I screwed up. I'm trying to make I really, I feel like, from working with Craig in jail, I feel like I have the athletic ability still to do it. He said I should get involved with Masters Bodybuilding, and he said to look you up. Would you take me on as a client?"
No.
No. Okay. What about if he said, "I'll give you $100,000 to help me"?
No, can't be bought.
No.
Can't be bought.
Okay.
I cannot be bought. $400,000. Nope.
Would Chad take him on?
I doubt it, actually.
Chad would put a spin on it somehow.
Yeah, that's what I said. Well, that's what I said.
I would do it too. I'd put a spin on it.
400.
Yeah. I'd put a spin on it too.
No way. No, I wouldn't. And I wouldn't even lose 1/1,000,000th of a night's sleep over it.
No, you know what? I wouldn't do it either, to be honest with you, because
that come back to haunt you, dude.
Well, it is my wife's sister was killed by her husband. Domestic violence, and then he killed himself. OJ's too in love with himself to kill himself after that. But see, I wouldn't want to endorse that. But I bet you OJ has good genetics. I bet he could do it. That's why I'm always wondering. One of the Kardashian sisters is supposedly OJ's daughter. You hear that rumor? Chris Kardashian had the Chloe one looks just like her.
Oh,
and I'm always amazed. And then there's the other one. There's two other daughters that are Bruce Jenner's daughters. I'm always like, that's why they're so tall. I'm like, between OJ and Bruce Jenner and the Kardashian bloodline there, you think one of them would have been an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Just lazy.
So,
they just want to shop. They just want to shop. They don't want to do anything. Think about the genetics. Could have been great athletes.
Yeah, you're right.
The one
tremendous athletes, right?
Yeah, Kylie, is that the one that's the model, or Kendall? I think Kendall. She's like 6 feet almost. She looks like she's an Amazon. I mean, she's a great model and everything like that. But man, she'd probably be a terrific athlete. What a waste of talent. But what the hell do I know? I'm putting her in sports. She's supposedly like one of the richest. They said she's the greatest social media person of all time. Like she knows social media like better than I said. Well, she
get her to sell some red stuff. Give her 99% of the profit. He'll keep the 1%. But if you're reaching 400 million people on each tweet or each IG post.
Mm-hmm. So I went to a bodybuilding show, believe it or not, this past weekend.
Oh my goodness!
Can you believe it? I went to the Mel Chancey Classic, which was 20 minutes from my house here in Port Charlotte, and Mel had a pro bikini show there, pro men's physique or pro masters men's physique again.
Who do you have guest post?
I think he had Branch, but I didn't see Branch. First of all, I don't think Branch likes me anymore. I think he's for some reason mad at me. I don't know why. Maybe because we probably something that we said about him that he probably doesn't like. But I don't. He's not because I've asked him for interviews. He won't.
For God's sakes, dude. Then just shut down your Instagram account and your Facebook account. You know what I mean?
We
I could publish a picture. You could put a picture up of your poodle, and people would make you got to expect 20% of the people saying something negative about your poodle.
Oh, definitely. They were putting comments about my son because he was sucking on a pacifier.
Your son has a gut, by the way. A gut. He's got a big gut.
He's got a bubble gut. Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, I don't think Branch for some reason is too fond of me anymore. I don't know why. I thought we were friends at one point, but I guess maybe I said something about his physique he didn't like. I don't know. We've never sat down and talked, so I could be speculating incorrectly. But I've asked him for interviews and I've been turned down. So Branch, I think, guest posed. I wasn't at the night show because Logan has a very short window of tolerance for these things. I think he enjoyed it. I do, because he was sitting and watching the show. We watched some of the Bikini. He liked those girls. He liked the classic physique guys. And it was good. I got to see Mel. I hadn't seen him in a long time. Even though I live 20 minutes from him, I'd never see him because you know how life goes.
Oh, gosh. Come on.
Jimmy Mentis was there. I was sitting with him talking to him because he's dating Bonnie Peterson, my client, who won the figure overall there. Uh-huh. And so chilling with him. I saw Mike Z, who I know listens to every show, and he said I better give him a shout out. He's dating a very nice girl now, women's physique pro.
When's the next Guru seminar?
December 2nd. We're almost sold out. I'm glad you mentioned
where are you having it?
I'm having it in Cape Coral, like I always do.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you're traveling for it or.
Yeah, no. This one's going to be in my home base here. The sign-ups are at DavePalumbo.com, and as people know, or maybe they don't know. You got to pre-register, so I'm very low. I think we have like 5 spots left, so you guys better sign up quickly. Don't wait till the last minute.
So December 2nd, when will you recover from that? By the 5th?
It's a long day. I lose my voice when we have to do the radio show the day after. Sometimes I can't even. I'm like hoarse still from it because speaking for 10 hours is a lot. Speaking for 2 hours when we do these radio shows sometimes we used to do 3-hour shows back in the day, but the 2 hours is 10 hours is a long time.
Let's go 4 hours just for old time's sake tonight.
My wife will be like, "Where are you? I didn't see you go to bed." I said, "Oh, I'm still working."
Oh, tell people what time we have to record because it's the only time when you have kids and right.
We record at 11 o'clock at night, the pregame show goes from 11 to 11:30, and then we get started at 11:30 with the real show.
Pregame show goes like this: "Hey, Dave, what's happened?" And you say, "Oh my, you're not going to believe who called me and told me what." And I said, "What? Oh my goodness, you can't." Say that on the radio show. Say no, we'll get kicked out of bodybuilding.
Yeah. Emmerich Delzig called me, by the way, again the other night.
Oh yeah, he's still around.
Yeah, he's in supplements.
Tribestan.
He's sending me. He sent me that. He's
immediately associated with Tribestan. He was the first guy to bring it to the US. You know what?
Yeah, it was called Tribulus.
And he used to hound Joe, and Joe used to invite him in the office all the time. You know that, right?
No, he told me. Believe me. That's
a true story.
When Emmerich tells a story, you cannot get a word in. You have to just let him go. And they're good stories, but it like you know how you want to interact with the story, but you can't because it's like almost like on record and play. He hits play and then it goes. Yeah. And he's sending me some interesting supplements. You know what? He has very good ideas, so you never know. I might come out with one. I might let him produce one of my supplements if I find it interesting. So. He got all the Joe Rita gossip. Are we under a national emergency for opioid?
There's some type of emergency declared, I think, by Trump over painkillers.
I didn't know that. I do know that you can get a medical marijuana card now in Florida. Not that I smoke marijuana, but
God, how easy is it?
$200 you get it. Now the great thing about it is that. Not only on you can just go to a website and you purchase what you want once you have the. I wish I liked marijuana because it's so easy here. I would be like I'd be in heaven, but I'm not into drugs and into those kind of hallucinogenic drugs. But I will tell you one thing: they have something on the website that someone was showing me where they sell pure cannabinoid oil, which is THC free, just like the I don't want to forget THC free. So there's no drug in it, but suppose you put a couple drops under your tongue, and if you have pain or you have anxiety, it supposedly works amazing.
Really? Wow. So how does it work on the pain mechanism of the body?
Because cannabinoids are natural painkillers. I think they act like on the mu receptors, just like almost opioids do, but they're natural, so there's no addiction to them or anything like that, and they cause relaxation. So I you know what? I don't know if they work on the mu receptor. I think they work on the cannabinoid receptor, which is similar but not the same. And I might want to get some and try it on my dad. The problem is that I have to come there every day to his assisted living place and drop him it under his tongue. I don't know if I'll be able to. He'll never remember to do it.
Why they won't do it, right?
He'll rub it on his anal itching or something like that. I don't think it's an oil or lubrication oil.
No, but they won't administer it? It's
not unless they had doctors prescribe it. It's like off-label things. They got to go by the law there. People can't just be bringing shit. Hey, by the way, give this to my dad, Give him a GH shot every day, please. It'll help him.
How's he doing?
He's back in. He was out. He was back and forth to the emergency room about 4 times last week. But now because he had a urinary tract infection. But now he's back in his place. I sit around every day. Every time I see a 239, which is the area code down here, number pop up on my phone because I don't have a lot of friends down here. I cringe because I think it's they're calling from my dad's assisted living place to tell me they're sending him to the hospital or something happened. Every single time I'm like, oh. And usually it is them. That's the problem. But sometimes it's decent.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not bad news. So yeah, my dad is. They organized a thing called Sing Along with Sal. It's like a karaoke night there because my dad's like the head singer there now. So Sing Along with Sal. I said, Dad, do you know that they named? Because he can't remember anything. He doesn't even remember singing there. They have to tell the nurses. Tell me. I'm like, can you tell me when he's going to go? I got to get in there and videotape this. Are you kidding me?
Oh, definitely. But I would love to see that.
Yeah. I'm like, Dad, do you know that you're...
He's like the King of Vegas. Who's the guy who's the King of Vegas? Who's like the...
What's his name?
The black hair and like 400 plastic surgeries. They have a street named after him.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. That's because we're both losing our mind, which I'm going to talk about next. But
maybe we need some non-addictive THC to bring your mind back.
I said, Dad, do you know they named the karaoke night after you? It's called Sing Along with Sal. He goes, I hear something about that. He doesn't remember. He doesn't know. He's like, he thinks he should know, so he's pretending. So I had to bring him to the you're going to get a kick out of this. I was mortified, but I brought him to the urologist office. And now with the way it works with this assisted living is I have to go to the assisted living place. I have to get in the bus with him. They put him on a wheelchair. They roll the wheelchair into this beautiful bus. It's like a van, but it's huge. They buckle him in, and then I sit in the front with the driver, and they take us to the doctor's office. For some reason, my dad was in the most manic mood I'd ever seen him. I don't know what they gave him, drug cocktail-wise.
Yeah.
And so we get to the doctor's office, and I wheel him in there, and we're waiting in the waiting room, and he's like, get me a drink. I want a chocolate milk. I'm like, Dad, they don't have chocolate milk here. I can get you a cup of coffee. I can get you water. He's like, all right, get me water. So I go get him water, and I come back, and I see he's talking to this woman there. The woman, seriously, had to be 350 pounds, okay? Nice, but well-groomed, nice. And he's like, yeah, my son here, you got to hire him. I'm like, Dad, what are you saying? He goes, this woman, she's got a serious weight problem. I told her that, you're a doctor. I said, I'm not a doctor. He goes, but you do weight loss, right? I said, yeah, that's what I do for a living. Well, she definitely needs your help. I want you to give her your number. I'm like,
well, he was trying to be helpful.
I'm like, Dad, shut the fuck up. He's like, what? We're doing an act here, right? I said, no, what are you talking about? We're doing an act. I said, we're in the doctor's office. These are patients. They don't want to hear you. Can you quiet it down? Next thing, someone walks in. He's like, holy mackerel, would you get a load of that guy? What a fucking hairpiece on him. I'm like, he's screaming this. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, ha. I'm like laughing. I'm like, yeah, my dad, just ignore him. What are you doing? He goes, we're doing an act here, right? We're feeding off each other. I'm like, Dad, this is not an act. You're at the doctor's office. Please, just Dad, can you just not talk to anyone? Talk to me. He goes, I am talking. I said, speak lowly. Please. He goes, what? What? Because I called that woman a fat pig? Like on the top of his lungs. He says this to me. And she's sitting like 2 chairs away from us. I said, Dad, I'm wheeling you outside. That's it. We're going outside. He's like, no, I don't want to. It's too hot. I'm like, you just complain he's too cold. I took him outside, and it's like drizzling. He's like, it's raining. I want to go inside. He's like I'm dealing with like a 2-year-old kid. I'm like, I'm not going inside. He's like, I don't want to sit up here. I can't breathe. I'm going to pee in my pants. He was like giving me every bullshit excuse. And I had to videotape him saying, I swear on your mother's grave that I won't open my mouth again. I said, all right, I got it on tape now on my phone. I am going to play this video for you if I hear you mutter one word to anyone in that doctor's office. The second we get in there, they take us, they call us, we go into the doctor's office. He says to the Indian woman, she's the doctor, good-looking woman, he's like, can I take you out? I'm like, Dad. She's like, well, I don't think my husband would like that. He's like, oh, man. He goes, your husband? Oh, you're breaking a lot of hearts here, honey. He goes, like, Dad, remember that pact we made outside? I said it applies to the doctors and nurses, too. No one. Don't talk to anyone. Just be a mute. I said, can you be mute? Not say anything. He was so manic. He did not stop talking from the minute we picked him up at the Gulf Coast Village to the minute we got back there. He was like crazy. I've never seen him like that.
The manic version of Wayne Newton. That's it is.
Wayne, yeah, exactly.
The manic version of Wayne Newton.
Or, you know who's also out there still? What's it? Engelbert Humperdinck.
Is he out there? My mother used to go see him in concert. Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yeah. He's still
She
still
used
in
to go
action.
see him.
I know all the old crooners.
When I was a kid, they used to sell his records on it'd come on those 60-second commercials for KTEL, you know.
They're probably still selling them at 4 in the morning. You can probably.
Yeah.
Though my dad buys all that stuff at 5 in the morning. You know, at least he used to. Now he's beyond that. I don't think he can even pick up the phone and make a phone
Am I
call.
confused? Or speaking of entertainment, Wayne Newton in Vegas, is Kai having a show coming up?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Someone asked me that.
Yeah, he might be.
I didn't know, like a one-man show. Or
There's this weird show called Stranger Things that I was started watching last year with Amanda on HBO because we were looking for something to watch one night and we started watching. It was kind of weird, and it was a good show, and we watched the whole season. And the new season just came out, and someone told me that Kai Green is in the opening, is in the show. He's in the opening episode, and I think he's in one other episode. So I haven't watched it yet, but if you guys have watched or you want to watch an interesting, kind of fun type of thing, the scene, if I remember correctly from last year, is it takes place during the 70s, like when we were kids. So these are kids. It would be like the same age as we were at the same time period. So you can relate to everything that's going on around you because of the environment. It's total 1980s, you know. And they recaptured the whole era so well. These kids play Dungeons and Dragons, which is exactly what it's like. It's like a carbon copy of my life, except obviously the whole plot is made up, but it's pretty cool. So you might want to check it out. I don't know what Kai's role is. I haven't seen him yet, but
speaking of roles, Sergio Oliva leaves for Alabama next week.
Oh, he's not going to the Camel Crew too?
No, he's temporarily. They tried to poach him, but he should go too.
Yeah, he
should go too.
What's he doing in Alabama?
He's shooting that Arnold movie.
Oh, right, because they got to film his scenes. Yeah, I see Dan Solomon posts like every single day, like he's down there.
He told me that Arash is playing Frank Zane.
Oh, that's
who I actually cast him on this show as Frank Zane. When we talked about it, we kid. You can go back and play the tapes. I said Arash should play Frank Zane.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's funny. That's a good pick from
who they invited him to go to Kuwait, but the problem if Arash went to Kuwait, he'd just be like an open bodybuilder.
I'm surprised they didn't get Sadiq to play.
Way too much.
I'm surprised they didn't get Sadiq to play.
Yeah, that's a good. Well,
I thought he was the one that looked a little bit more like.
Maybe he
Zane.
wanted too much money.
It's possible. So I said
I can't believe who's playing Franco. I cast Jose as Franco, but maybe they're going with Ashkenani or something.
I heard a rumor that Jose might do that show at the end of the year with the Cedric's
He's still in shape. It
would be like Arnold versus Franco, right? If you have Cedric, because Cedric knows all the Arnold poses. Tell Jose to work on the Franco. Well, he's listening to the show. Jose, work on the Franco poses.
Speaking of Jose, I see and Gurus.
Yeah.
Hanny Rambod is working with Chatty.
Who?
Chitty Bang Bang. Hattie Chopi.
Oh, is he really?
Chopi Hattie, whatever.
Well, he probably speaks
except
the same
as
language.
I predicted, there's no way Chopi will ever compete in any show in the U.S. It's just not going to happen.
He'll never get a passport, probably, right?
We'll never give him a passport.
Well, did you see King Kamali is working with this new guy?
Visa.
King Kamali's working with another new guy who's doing classic physique. He's another Iranian freakazoid. I'm going to get him to talk about him when we get him back on the show. But
you should. You got to have King Kamali on a little bit more often.
Yeah, he's good.
Because he's out of his mind.
I got to get him on with the mean. See what I don't know what their relationship is.
They probably hate each other.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think.
Let me just make that prediction. Can I make that prediction? See if I'm right. I just have a gut feel. Can you text Kamali? He's probably up attending the clients. It's 12:10 in the morning.
You're right. He probably is.
I bet he is. Text him. See if he's up. Say Chris Aceto wants to know if you're friends with him.
All right, I'm getting my phone out. Hold on. Just for you, Chris. Just for you. Talk while I'm texting him.
Okay. You know what? Listen. Someone sent me a video. I sent it to Jay. A video of Jay versus Coleman in 2004. They were just blasting gigantic. Jay was crazy round in 2004.
Do you think he should have beat Ronnie that year?
I think he. You know what? I sent the video to the master, Jose, to see what Jose said.
Yeah.
And I knew what Jose would say. Same thing as I said is, you know what? Jay could have won that show and nobody would have, complained.
Yeah.
In other words, it was close,
Sure. All right. I texted him. Let's see what he says.
He definitely, yeah.
I don't know if you saw Amanda posted a picture on Instagram of Logan stretching me. It's a great picture.
I follow you on Instagram. I think, yeah.
You got to follow Amanda too, because she puts up better pictures than I do. I was stretching I stretch on the floor in my game room. I have like a little yoga mat on there, and Logan likes to wrestle with me. But while I'm stretching, he'll get. I don't even know how he knows how to do it. I never taught him anything. He'll just push on my back, to help me get a better stretch. So Amanda got a great picture of him on my back, pushing down to give me a better stretch, and I'm in like a split position. So I thought it was kind of cute. He's a character. We took him to this pet kingdom today, which has all
was that
pets.
fun going to stuff like that?
Oh yeah, there was this huge sulcata tortoise. It was like 30 years old. It was like bigger than he was, and it was free roaming around the store.
He must have loved it.
Well, he was afraid of it at first, but he couldn't stop. He couldn't get away from it. He kept going back to it. He kept wanting to go back to it. Finally, he got the courage up to pet it. Then forget it. We couldn't get him away from this thing. He wanted to ride on top of the thing.
Of course, they love all that stuff. There, dogs, cats.
I think I enjoyed the store more than he did, though.
Oh, listen, half the fun is bringing little kids. Like that's the best age because they're so bewildered with nothingness.
Absolutely.
With a neighbor's little kitty cat, they go crazy over.
Yeah, I get a kick out of watching him do all that stuff. He's gonna. Hopefully, he takes after me. It seems like he likes animals, so we'll hope. He got a little scared of the bird. I was talking to this. I was interacting with this cockatoo baby, and I was saying hello. So I said, "Logan, come here. Look, see the bird says hello." I said, "It almost has as many words as you do." He's got like 2 or 3 words he says now, and the bird started squawking, and he got very scared. We had to take him out of the store. It was too much for him, too much. But I'll make a video. I have this YouTube channel I haven't done anything with for like a year. It's called Muscle Fish. It was when I had all my crazy fish tanks in New York.
You told me.
I used to put up the thing's got hundreds of thousands of hits. These videos, people are still going there. I have more subscribers on that channel that's almost not. I don't do anything with than I do on my reptile channel that I put up stuff all the time. I have almost 11,000 subscribers on there, which is more than MD has on there. No, just kidding. It's probably close to what they have. So I figured, what? All right, let me put up some videos. I'll shoot. But I don't have any fish tanks, so I had to go to so we went to the pet store and I went and shot some of the fish tanks there, so I could put up fish tank videos of something on the channel. But it was pretty fun. It's amazing how these niche channels really, people really love that stuff.
There's a niche for anything.
Now I want to get a fish tank. Now I'm like, but you know what I found? If you go on Facebook, has this marketplace, and if you put, if you have the location where you live in there, it'll tell you, what's around in your town, and you can find anything. You put fish tank in there. There's like 25 fish tanks for sale, like pennies. I can get them for.
No, I know it's amazing. But I was just looking for furniture recently, and my wife was looking on Facebook, and I was looking, of course, on Craigslist because I don't know my Facebook password.
Yeah. I don't know if I would get furniture from other people. That's a little, because especially with the bed bugs, Chris, that you've gone through, I wouldn't.
Oh no, I just bought it. I just bought Dave the crazy. I'll send you a picture of it if I still have it. I bought the craziest desk this guy made.
Oh, wood is fine. Yeah, wood you can do. You can always refinish.
No, I'm not going to buy mattresses and stuff.
So did you have to refinish it, or was it?
No, the guy made this guy in his little garage shop in Maine made this.
Oh, really?
Crazy. It's a desk, Dave. It's made out of like maple wood. It weighs like 200 pounds. The legs are made out of a machine that they used to make the dog tags in the the old dog tags that people in the army would have to wear. Mm-hmm. So that's what the legs are made out of. The drawers are made out of an old Singer sewing machine. It's just really unique,
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Where I put it doesn't fit at all. It makes no sense where I put it, but
you have a huge office, though.
Well, I put it in an Airbnb rental.
Oh, you didn't. I thought you kept it for yourself.
Well, that Airbnb rental will be, someplace that I go.
Oh, well, okay. Where is the Airbnb rental?
Portland.
Oh, in Maine, okay.
Yeah.
Was it like on the water or something?
Yeah, it's right on the water. Oh. It's incredible.
So, I don't know if you know who Carmen Tuchenik is. She's from Canada. She's an IFBB women's physique pro. She's good. She's placed at some good shows. She contacted me about a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month or so ago.
She wanted to go to Kuwait?
She probably did. No, she has a clinic up there in Canada. It's called DNA Diet and Exercise Testing. They can do your DNA testing and test and see if you have anything wrong with you. They do wide arrays of testing from, your brain chemistry to see if you have what's your likelihood of getting Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, to how you metabolize carbohydrates and proteins, fats, how you respond to exercise, how your body detoxifies. They have all these markers now, all these gene markers. I didn't even know they had this many of them. So she's like, telling me she has this service, and I'm like, sounds like a great idea. She's like, well, how can you help me get the word out there? I think the website's karmalife.ca, KARMALIFE.ca. I said, I don't know. Why don't you test me? And the funny thing is, before I said that to her, I'm thinking after I said that to her, I should say, I'm like, why did I say that? I don't want to know what I got wrong with me, right? Because that'll skew my brain. I'll be thinking about it for the rest of my life now. Oh my God, I'm going to die of cancer because I have these cancer genes, or I'm going to die of, I'm going to get, dementia.
Well, you might have a car. You might get in a car accident before the gene takes over.
Right, but you got to remember, the genes are only a predisposition you have. It's the environmental cues that really turn these genes on. That's an important thing to understand. So anyway,
that's a Tony Robbins word, environmental cues.
Epigenetics. That's the new big thing, Chris. Now, methylation of your genes. The methylation turns on. It's like the switch that turns the genes on and off. So you might have a gene for a certain trait, but if it's not turned on, then it doesn't express itself. So what turns on a gene, we don't know. These, we do know some of them. Cancer genes can turn on
chemicals, right?
Yeah, like smoking can turn genes on for cancer if you have a predisposition. And then you have the person who doesn't have any of those genes that can be turned on, and they could smoke their whole life and never get cancer. So that's the reason. So I said, all right, fine, I'll do it. I said, I'll be the guinea pig. So she sent me this little thing. I had to swab my cheek, and then put it into this like special vial with this liquid in it to preserve it, I guess. And then I mailed it back to her in Canada there. And then I just got the test results back. I didn't even tell her, to be honest with you, that I got the test results back, because I'm still going through them. It's like 100 pages of stuff, but I figured people would want to know. So I'm going to give you some of my results here, Chris. My ability to process carbohydrates is about 67%. So I have a 33%. What that means is 33% of my genes are not perfect for carbohydrates. That means I have variations in those genes. Whereas dietary fat, my ability to metabolize dietary fat is 100%. That means I have the perfect genes for metabolizing fat.
But you could have told her that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't need them to tell me that. Insulin, I'm about 56%. I can regulate blood sugar pretty well. So maybe my high blood sugars, I don't know. I don't know what it means.
How's your patience gene?
Saturated fats, I metabolize saturated fats very well, 83%. And stored body fat, I burn at 100%, they say.
Of course you do.
My ability to burn it, which is obvious why I'm so lean. So that's consistent. That made me have some trust in this test. My weight response to high-protein diets is 100%. So I responded very well to a high-protein diet, which I knew all along. My ability to regulate body mass is 67%. So I have a very, I have like that mesomorphic type of body, I guess you could say. Let me see what else is interesting here. I can metabolize saturated fats very well, which is probably why I did so well at McDonald's all those years. This is interesting because I don't drink, but I guess I get this from my dad. My ability to metabolize alcohol is 100%.
What's his?
My dad's 100. My dad is definitely 100. Dad comes from my dad. You know, my dad could drink a bottle of wine and be fine. So, but I'm not a big drinker, so it doesn't really matter. And I could also metabolize caffeine 100%, which is interesting. And I don't use caffeine because I feel that it could raise my blood pressure. But it's good to know that I handle caffeine well. Gluten, Cedric would like this. I handle it 75%, so that's pretty good. Lactose, and here's another reason why I believe this test. I cannot. It says I have a 0% chance of digesting lactose. Isn't that interesting? My genes.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yep. Let me see what else is interesting here. Your ability.
It's interesting because I've never seen you eat like milk or cheese or yogurt or.
I don't because I poop my pants if I do. I can't digest it. Now, my ability to taste sweet flavors in foods is 100%. So I have a very good keen sense of taste. I could also taste bitter. 100%. My preference to consume a normal amount of protein is 100%, and my preference to consume a normal amount of fat is 100%, and carbohydrates. So what that means is that I wouldn't abuse it. Same thing with caffeine, 100%. I don't have any abuse genes in me. Like how some people can't stop themselves from eating carbohydrates because they have gene anomalies, evidently. So you can blame your parents and your genes on everything. Then it goes through all the different vitamins and stuff like that. I pretty much handle vitamins pretty well. I don't want to bore you with this. Let's see what else is here. I thought the mental ones were those really put me at ease. I'm going to tell you why. Let's see if I can pull that up.
Which mental ones? The
mental genes. Hold on, let me find those.
I sent you the desk, by the way.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm going to look at it in a second. My ability to metabolize estrogen is very high, so that means I can get rid of it easily. That's probably another reason why I don't hold water or anything like that. My biosynthesis of androgens and estrogens is low, 25%. So that's not good. I guess that's why I did better on anabolics. What else is here? Hold on. Let me get the brain chemistry. Oh, here it is. Mental wellness. This is the one I was petrified to take a look at. I thought I was going to be in trouble.
What? Because you thought you're losing it, probably.
My normal risk of developing Alzheimer's is very low, only 25% chance. My ability to recover from concussions is 83%. I have a very good ability to recover from concussions. My ability to regulate cortisol levels normally is 62%. So that's not bad. It's better than 50% of people. Depression, my normal risk of experiencing depression, very low, only 17%. So that's good. I'm a 50-50 emotional eater, and I have 0% chance of getting Parkinson's. So that made me feel very good, too, because I don't want any kind of motor unit mental problems. Yeah, motor issues are not good. So that I felt after watching that, I was very, very happy with that. Even though it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, because with my dad, we've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. I really was a little worried, to be honest with you, that I might suffer Alzheimer's. That doesn't mean I won't get demented. It just means I won't. I'm not going to get Alzheimer's. All right. Here's my ability to detoxify my body. How efficiently your body conjugates drugs, hormones, various toxins into water-soluble substances for elimination. 100%. So I was happy with that.
So you don't need any milk thistle or
no.
Cranberry juice.
How efficiently your body catalyzes acetylation reactions to detoxify cancer-causing carcinogens. 90%. So that obviously is going to help me.
So what's the negative? It's all good news so far.
So far, yeah. I'm looking. I think I had one thing that was not good. How efficiently my body metabolizes dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and estrogen. 50%. So I'm about average on that one. All right. Let's see what else. Hold on. Let's see here. That's detoxification. Hold on a second here. All right. Methylation reactions. Those are how your genes get turned on or off. Uh-huh. How efficiently you maintain plasma B12 concentrations through the methylation cycle. In other words, from what I understand, and I didn't even know this. By the way, when they give you these reports, they explain everything, which is, you could read for hours now. I haven't even gone through it all. But in order for B12 to work, it's got to be methylated, from what I understand here. Let me make sure I'm revealing this correctly. Okay. I very poorly, 0% chance of methylating B12. I don't do it very well, which means it can affect my absorbability. So even though my blood concentrations of vitamin B12 might be good, it means I don't utilize it well, which is a problem. So they recommend here that I get, purchase, oral methylcobalamin, which is a methylated version. You can get a methylated B12, and you can take that version so you don't have to worry about your body methylating it. So what did I do? As soon as I read this, of course, I went on Amazon. I immediately purchased Life Extension methylcobalamin. I'm be starting it Monday morning when I get it. So I believe all this, Chris. I'm completely in tune with this here. Now, how effectively I convert homocysteine to methionine, which is if you have high homocysteine levels, you probably heard this on blood work, you have a much greater chance of getting cardiovascular disease. I convert homocysteine to methionine 100%, so I don't ever have to worry about that. I'll never have high homocysteine levels. So that was a whoof, that made me feel good. But I didn't realize this. I don't convert B12 to activated form, so you got to do something about it. So these tests, my point is here, is interested probably in Dave. Everyone wants to know about themselves. These tests will give you clues to how to maybe attack your diet properly, what supplements to take, what you're good at, what your body's not good at, and what to avoid and what to eat. And I think this is the first real test that I've seen that the trends of my body were 100%. Because I've seen these tests where they test you if you're allergic to things, and they tell you you're allergic to brown rice, and white rice you're not, and you can't eat, you can't have stevia, but you can have sucralose. I don't believe all those. No. It's a crock of shit. This is DNA analysis, and these are trends based on genes that they know. They know these genes. They've already isolated them. They know what they do. So this is something. If you want to get your genes tested, you don't have to get everything done like I did. You can pick and choose what you want. Like there's another one test here for power and endurance. How suited you are for endurance activities. I'm 54% suited. 62% suited for power and sprinting activities, which is ironic because I was a long distance runner, so I obviously picked the wrong event. My ligament strength is 75%. That's how well my body maintains healthy ligaments. My tendon strength 71%, so that's good. Muscle strength 50-50. Muscle repair 90%. Now that's important because obviously after I work out, my body's ability to repair itself is much better than most people's. But here's an interesting one that didn't really jive with me. How well my body regulates blood pressure. It says 100%, which is not good which is not really true because I do have high blood pressure. Now, my high blood pressure may be caused by stress, so there's that's the environmental, I guess you could say, effect that would influence my genes negatively. So probably if I lived on a desert island somewhere, I'd probably have normal blood pressure. How well you manage oxygen during exercise, 81%. How well you break down nutrients during exercise, 83%. So that was good. How well you regulate your blood sugar, 92%. My stroke risk is only 50%. My cardiovascular health is 60%. So these are all, once again, these are just genetic patterns. It doesn't mean that you're going to experience it, but it means that there's,
It makes sense.
The website the company that did this is DNApower.com. If you want to contact Carmen Tuchenik on Facebook, you can do that. She's very good at getting back to people, and she can tell you how to get involved with these to get your DNA tested. I thought it was fascinating. I still haven't really analyzed it all. Just going over it with you right now, I got a little better read on some of the stuff because I kind of went over it so quickly. But to me, the most important one was the mental, because we're at a stage now, Chris, where we're not doing anything physically. We're not going to be breaking any world records physically anymore. So mental sanity and keeping mentally healthy and being able to move around is very important to guys when they're 50 and over. So I felt a little better that I didn't. At least I'm not fighting my genes now. I have pretty good genes. Does it mean I can't get demented or I can't get these? Of course I can. If I get exposed to environmental things to do it, if I don't eat right, maybe if I don't take care of myself, but I don't have a genetic predisposition to any of these things, which is nice to know. Speaking of dementia, they have Chris, a new smell test just came out. Did you know that? If you can't smell certain things, you might have the beginnings of dementia.
Oh, I can't smell anything.
Really? That's not good,
No,
Chris.
no, because my kids always say, "You don't smell that?" I'm like, "No."
Oh, let me pull.
I'm serious. You don't smell that? I'm like, "No, no."
I'll tell you what the smells are. Let me see if they have it here. More than 5 million Americans are affected by Alzheimer's disease, which is just one type of dementia. Like I said, you can still get other dementias. University of Chicago researchers have come up with a new test which they believe can tell if a person has an increased risk of dementia. It's a smell test with 5 different scents. It starts with peppermint, which should be the easiest to smell, and it gets more difficult as it goes on. The other smells are fish, orange, rose, and leather. The scientists involved believe people who can't determine 4 of the 5 scents could be twice as likely to develop dementia. So if you want to give yourself a test, Chris, try peppermint, fish smell, orange, roses, and leather.
I know what those smell like. I just don't know what degree. Like,
well, what you got to do is you get those 3 things in front of you, and then you close your eyes and you have your kids just pick one of them, and you have to tell them what it is. And if you can identify at least 2 or 3 of them, you should be fine. It's got to be 4 out of 5 you don't get. So, another study came out last week. I forgot to talk about it. It says they're saying you can exercise yourself to death. This new study says too much exercise can kill you.
Trump is right.
Yeah, Trump is right. Don't exercise. White men who work at least white men. White men who work out. This is interesting. Only white men who work out at least 7.5 hours a week are nearly twice as likely to suffer from heart disease as those who do a moderate amount, says a new study. Researchers in Chicago compared 25-year exercise patterns and made the surprising discovery that very active white men are 86% more likely to experience a buildup of plaque in their arteries of their heart by middle age. But this did not apply to black men, they discovered. Isn't that interesting? Racism!
I wonder what it is.
It was suggested that high levels of exercise over time cause stress on the arteries, leading to higher coronary artery calcification. Scientists warn that people should not stop exercising, however. Interesting. You know, I have one of my cronies that Facebooks me on a regular basis told me that calcification in the arteries is the new thing everyone's worried about. He's saying he told me that I should start taking, I think I mentioned this to you, EDTA, which is a chelating agent and kind of pulls heavy metals out of your body and binds calcium. He says you'll clear your arteries out. They can do an intravenous EDTA, but they have an oral version of it. So of course me, I always have to try everything. I went online and I bought the EDTA he suggested to me. It's a powder form. You put it under your tongue twice a day. I think, fuck it, I'll do a month of it. Even if it doesn't do anything, it can't hurt. I figure, you know what? At least if I have mercury in my brain from all the sushi, at least I'll pull that mercury out of my body.
Well, you grew up you probably have lead in your brain too, because you grew up in
that's right,
with lead paint in the in the 60s and 70s.
I probably ate some of that lead paint too, knowing myself. Yeah. So yeah, I'm doing that. It pulls all that out. The key is when you use EDTA, is some point during the day, not when you're taking the EDTA. I usually do it in the morning and night. You want to take a good vitamin and mineral supplement, okay, with absorbable minerals, so that you can replace if it does pull extra calcium out of your body too much. So yeah, I'm taking my V Mineralize, so I'm fine with that. But I'm doing that experiment. I have a lot of experiments going on. I have an insulin experiment. I'm going to get I got to get Milos on.
You told me about the insulin experiment.
Yeah, I'm doing an insulin experiment, but I'm not going to tell anyone what exactly I'm doing yet until I get some results from it. And
well, you've already said on the radio what you're doing.
Yeah, I did. I talked about it a little bit.
You alluded to it.
I'm taking some long-acting insulins to see what the...
look at it. It was a secret. Now it's not.
Yeah, it's not a secret. So I'm trying that out. Colette is helping me out with the protocols.
You feel better? Did you start it?
I did start it. I don't know if I feel better.
Do you feel like your blood sugar is lower or no?
Well, I've been testing it. It's better controlled, I think. Now, you got to remember, once again, I never had super high blood sugars, but they were running a little high. So the theory is if you take a long-acting insulin that you can lower your fasting and regular blood sugars. And also what you're doing is you're giving your pancreas a rest so the beta cells, which produce the insulin, can regenerate. Because I think as we get older, they can sometimes burn out a little bit if they're under heavy strain. Now, don't forget, I was a bodybuilder for how many years? I ate high carbs, off season. I took growth hormone, which makes you insulin resistant. So, I might have put a big strain on beta cells. So I don't know. Or I just think my theory is as we get older, the beta cells don't work as well. Mm-hmm. And so I'm doing this experiment to see what happens, and we'll see if it's right. Oh, talking about insulin. So Wednesday afternoon. Although I don't know when we'll put it. We'll probably put it up Wednesday night. I have a show we're doing with Milos and Amin Ali, who we just talked about earlier. It's an insulin show. We're going to talk about insulin protocols. Milos, I contact Milos. Milos is like, I don't know if he doesn't have a place to live yet or whatever, but I don't really have.
I don't have internet connection.
Yeah. So
I don't have internet. 2017, I have 6,000 bodybuilding clients. No internet.
But remember, Milos just moved back to this country yet, so he's not settled yet.
Oh, that's right. Where's he living?
I guess he's in California. He says to me, I don't know if I'm supposed to even say it. He's like, I said, Milos, can you do it on Tuesday? He's like, no, the witch is letting me have my daughter for Halloween. I guess the witch is his ex-wife. So he's taking his daughter trick-or-treating. So I'm assuming he's living in San Diego area again, where the ex-wife lives. So so I said, we'll do Wednesday. So he's like, what is the topic? I said, it's going to be a topic that you know well. He's like, what topic is that? I said, insulin. He knows
any topic. That's what I told you.
I know, but I told him insulin. He's like,
any topic.
I said, you'll be well qualified.
If the Bodybuilding Jeopardy show is launched, two things. He's going to be defending champion for the next 10 years. And he'll probably win, he'll bankrupt you because, you know what I mean? If you have to give out prize money, on the Jeopardy show.
Yeah.
Pick a topic on bodybuilding. Fast twitch muscle fibers for 100.
So Milos is going to be on the show with Amin Ali. And you'll have to give me some topics, too. We're going to talk about insulin and some other, guru topics.
Milos is the original Guy Sistinino. That's it right there. Because I'm serious, because he's as, and this is total complimentary, he's as neurotic, he's as organized, his notebook, I once asked him something when I first met him about what he ate, and he had like a 500-page notebook of the last 5 years, 5 meals he ate, and same thing when I met Guy, I said, he had a notebook that not only did he have his workouts and his diet, I looked through it, and it had notes on his dreams, had bad dreams.
Really? Oh, and his bowel movements are in there too.
So and Milos is probably like Guy, where when Milos first turned pro, you'd be like, yeah, he'll be okay. But I mean, he placed top 5 in 95 pro shows.
Yeah, he was good.
You could say he's the original. If he didn't get burnt out, he'd still be competing. That's for sure.
If Milos had good arms,
if he didn't get burnt out, would he still be competing?
I don't know about that, but if Milos had good arms, he would have been a world champion.
Yeah, about it.
That was his one weakness.
They were good enough for his. They flowed really on a lot of the shots, because he could hit a front double and sit on the abs and have the big,
but imagine if he had Evan Centopani arms, with that front double, what it would have been like. It would have been devastating.
And Nasser would say he has no back, and Milos would say, Nasser, you don't have a back either.
By the way, people love your.
But I can shoot my back with oil.
No, he would be like, yeah. You know what the funny thing was? Milos helped Nasser, but what Milos didn't tell anyone.
Turned on him.
Yeah, Nasser hated him. They hated each other, right?
No. Listen, let me tell you another thing about Milos. Milos will help almost an enemy, not an enemy, but you know what I mean. Milos will help. A lot of stuff in bodybuilding came through Milos, really. I mean, I have to say, Milos helped a lot of good bodybuilders. And then they learn their little, Milos, they think they learn what they think they know what Milos does, and then they go off and do it.
Well, someone else whispers in their ear something else that they'll make them.
Yeah. But Nasser turned on him viciously.
Why do you think that was? Do you know what the reason was?
Who knows? Ask Milos. Probably a woman or something, I bet.
Nah, you think so?
Either that or just, you know what? Well,
I'll ask Milos. I'll ask
Nasser. After all. Even
Milos,
they say you have no arms?
Milos' wife, she was winking at me, and Milos got upset, and he accused me of sleeping with his wife, and probably something crazy like that,
He accused me of winking back, but it was really my eye that winked.
I have the twitchy eye. I have a lazy eye, and sometimes it will move involuntarily, and
so it's good.
cannot control it.
Listen, it's good that Milos is back in the U.S. because he's another one you should have on the. You should have Kamali on the show more.
Yeah.
Because they both, besides hardcore to the bone, I'm sure they're both they can entertain people.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot to say.
Yeah, no, I think they're good. Well, now that we're back to doing regular programming, it took us a little while, just a week or two, to kind of get back in the groove of things when I got Tyler in, coming into the TV studio and taking over everything. Everything doesn't just click in one day, although it happened very quickly, which was great. But, it took took like 2 weeks to work out all the kinks, but we got some great stuff. I'll tell you one thing, Tyler, our new video TV guy, he made me a snake intro for my snake videos, my Muscle Serpents University YouTube channel. Wait till you see these things.
Wait. You can't use the word university because that's how Trump got sued. You better be careful. I'm serious. You'll get shut right down.
Yeah.
You can call it a seminar or education forum, but you can't call it a university. You got to be accredited.
It's a metaphorical university. By the way, I like your desk. Desk is very cool.
So that's the one. That's the.
You know what I'm going to tell you? You know what those drawers? I know where they came from. My dad had those drawers on something.
With file cabinets.
No, there's little like.
Yeah.
My dad used to put pipes in those drawers. Where did he get those things?Ose are definitely off something else. He pulled those off of.
I forget what he told me.
It's the same knobs and everything. My dad had it on some kind of an antique we had in my dad's house. I can't remember what it is now, but I remember I used to pull them out. My dad used to have pipes in there all the time.
Find out, Dave. Can you find out? Because when I went to the guy's house,
he didn't make those drawers. Those are antique drawers.
No, but what he does is he takes different stuff and he makes different stuff. He makes coffee tables out of like car parts.
I'm telling you, that was on a sewing machine. You asked this guy.
No, I said that. Wait. You heard me. Back up the tape.
Is that a Singer sewing machine?
It's a Singer sewing machine.
That's it. Yeah, that's my dad. We have that in my dad's house. Well, not anymore.
The drawers are from a Singer sewing machine. I think I said that. And the legs are from the machine that makes those dog tags when people.
Oh, you know what? You did say that. But I'm being honest with you. I had those drawers in my dad's house on 2 Singer sewing machines that he had. He was using as like a lamp desk because my dad was into. You know what? The sad thing is, when we sold my dad's house, my sister probably threw everything out, broke everything up. There was probably antiques worth crazy money in there. If they should have just called, put some kind of an ad on Craigslist. Antiquers, come over here, make me the best offer.
Yeah, let's see if I can make you laugh, because in that same unit I have 2 desks because I couldn't make up my mind.
Oh, you bought both of those things?
I bought that one the guy made.
Yeah.
And then I bought another one from a furniture store. So I'm moving one to another. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other one.
I would have liked it to be like a bottom piece on it. It's a little too exposed in the bottom. I guess
that's why it doesn't fit there. So I'm going to move it.
Yeah. It needs like a bottom piece on
You're
it.
100% right. You're 100% right. You have a good eye. So the test you took for like identification of desks in condominiums, you're 100% right.
So I
I'll
asked
tell you the one that I'll look for the picture of the one that I'm using.
Yeah. All right. Let me give some contest results here. Mel Chancey show, the Pro Figure division was won by Andrea Calhoun. She looked great. I actually saw her on stage. I didn't get a chance to talk to her. I should have, but I ran out of there fast because Logan was losing his patience there. But she looked really good. Jessica Padilla was second. Julie Mayer was third. Congratulations to those ladies. They had a master's figure there. And Tamara Bailey won that from Trinidad. Congratulations to you. And they had a men's physique over 40. It was won by Kevin Reeder. So congratulations. Let's see what else. There was a lot. There was a lot of shows. Nothing like huge this weekend, but there was a lot of shows. There was the Masters Baltimore Pro Show was this past weekend. All pro stuff. Luis Santa won the bodybuilding over 35. The Masters Bikini was won by Diana Parada. The Masters Men's Physique was won by, this was Classic Masters Physique, was Panacea Pierre, from Jersey. I used to work with him a little bit. Masters Pro Figure was won by Belinda Johnson. And the Masters Men's Physique was won by Dwayne Brickhouse, while the Masters Pro Women's Physique was won by Robin Blankenship. So there was all Masters. Very few people in each show. I don't know why people are not doing it. Maybe they didn't know about it. Maybe they figured there's no Olympia qualifications, so they didn't want to do it. The Kentucky Muscle took place this past weekend in the men's physique. Matt Mugford won that. The Pro Figure was won by Brittany Campbell. Love her physique. And who was second? Rainisha Sharp was second in the Pro Figure, and Audriana Corneliuson was third. So congratulations to those ladies. Let's see what else was going on this past weekend. I think one more show. Sacramento Championships Pro Bikini. This is why they had to make the new rules. There's too many shows. Brina Martinez, she wins that. Congratulations. Camille Perriott, she comes in second place. And in the third position was Tiffany Servadius. Congratulations. In the Masters Pro Bikini, Karen Henich. We've talked about her on Muscle Morning. She won. Congratulations, Karen. Corinne, I should say. Okay. That's all the results for this past weekend. I think, this Ferrigno Legacy Classic show, Chris, that's coming up is going to be a great show on the 18th. I had Louis on the show. I don't know. Did you watch the Lou Ferrigno interview?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, you guys should watch it. You'll enjoy it. It was Louis and his son. And his son just got accepted. He got the part on SWAT, the new TV show SWAT. Mm-hmm. He's got a main talking role. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's doing that. So I got him. We were talking about that on the show. Louis, I made him do the Hulk impression. His Hulk smash. Hulk smash. He's like, Dave always makes me do this. Tyler, who was my engineer and my TV guy, he didn't know that Lou Ferrigno could read lips, because I said, you got to put the laptop in front of me so Louis can see me. And he's like, how does this guy do it? He goes, he read your lips the whole time. I said, yeah, he's been doing it his whole life. They said, he's unbelievable. Louis, great interview, always, that. And the show has grown. They have 200 booths this year at the Ferrigno Legacy Classic. And I know you've seen have you seen the Incredible Hulk overalls statues they give out?
Yeah, I have seen them. Yes,
they're unbelievable. Yes. I would kill to have one of those. They're one of a kind.
Why don't you give you one? Just as
I put the hint in there. I don't know if you got the hint, but I haven't earned it one, to be honest with you. But to tell you the truth, I would, if I was a pro bodybuilder, I would want to win the show just. And I think they give it out to the amateurs, too, just to get that overall trophy. It is gorgeous. It's green. I think it's got some kind of licensing on it, because it's the actual Incredible Hulk. He can't sell these. He only can give them away, to the winners. It's one of a kind. It looks just like him when he was the Incredible Hulk. And it's like silver, but it's got a green tinge to it. Oh, would I kill to have one of those. What a fucking great trophy that is. It's got to be the greatest trophy in all of bodybuilding. And I'm saying that, look, the Sandow means the most.
Maybe I haven't seen it.
The Sandow means the most, but that Hulk trophy that they give it out for the Ferrigno Legacy is top notch. Believe me, Cedric, if he wins that thing, will cherish it, I guarantee, because I'm sure he was a Hulk fan, too, when he was a kid.
You'll have to get Aaron the trophy.
Aaron will have to buy it from someone, yeah. Maybe someone will sell it on eBay. Maybe Cedric will sell it to Aaron. With Cedric, no, I think Cedric values like monuments like that more than money. You probably couldn't even. If you offered him $1 million, he probably wouldn't even give it to you.
Yeah, so for 400, he wouldn't train OJ.
Maybe Cedric will train OJ.
No, he wouldn't.
You don't think so?
No.
Man.
That's not a good impression of him.
You never heard him yell at me when he's trying to avoid me from getting trying to get me to interview him. He runs. I have to like tie him down basically. Although he gave me that very willing interview at the Meet the Olympians at the Olympia, which I was surprised. It was a good interview. We put that up. It should be up on the site. All right, that's it. I think we went through all my notes, which I never really have, but I had a couple notes this time.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't know you had notes.
I write down. I like to talk about stories. I do wing it. I don't have any organization to my notes, but I do some. I'll scribble down little things like Mel Chancey. I wanted to give. I saw that my client Susie Blaylock had a very successful training with the session. A couple training sessions with Jose. She's
she did.
She's on
team
Team Boston Mass now. So she's loving it. She said she's the one who actually told me that Jose's doing the thinking about doing the that show with Cedric. The end of the Ferrigno, the Ferrigno in the open division, right?
Yeah, it's a packed show.
Look, Jose probably would love that trophy. He's a fan of the sport.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's a fan of Lou Ferrigno too.
Yeah, they don't have a 212 there in that show.
No, they don't have a 212 there.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. That's all right. I love that Jose isn't afraid to throw his hat into the ring. There.
No, he's not afraid of nothing.
I think he always at the end of the year does an open show. You ever noticed that? No other 212 guy does that. It's a good idea. I love it. I love that he throws his hat into the ring there, and he always does well too. You ever notice that?
Yeah. Why? I mean,
does well because no one wants to stay in shape, and Jose, stays in shape. He shows up at the show. He's got a lot of muscle on him. He's probably got a better open physique than he's got a 212 physique now. Maybe
you're probably right. Why is that?
Because he's got a lot of mass, and these guys who have
he don't have weaknesses where there's weaknesses on people there's gaps on people who are taller or quote supposedly bigger. Just people with deficiencies.
Let's look at the money. They're giving $20,000 away for first place. $20,000 total. 10,000 first place, 4,000 second, 3,000 third, 4,000 second, 2,000 fourth, 1,000 fifth. Louis says he wants to get it up to the same level of prize money that Arnold's giving away, the Arnold Classic. That would be awesome, right?
That'd be incredible.
Great. Louis can do it. It's only the fourth year of the show. He's already got 200 booths.
How do you do it? How do you do it? That's a good question.
Well, Lou's got good people working for him. Chris Minnis.
No, I know. How do you get the money to do it?
Well, because Louis makes a phone call and says, "Hey, you want to give me some sponsorship money? How do you say no to Lou Ferrigno? He's getting mainstream sponsors too. He's not just getting. Look at the website.
No, I don't know. You tell me. Who's his headliner?
Well, he's got these casinos he's working with. They're probably giving him a great deal. They probably just want him in the casino there. And if you looked at the arena, look at the website, the FerrignoLegacy.com. I mean, you will not believe, the beauty of this. It looks like the Arnold Classic. I mean, he's doing it right. I'm sure he's not making as much money as he will make in the future because he's trying to build it up. They have pole dance. Oksana Grishina's pole fitness this year. They added on.
What is that, Dave? I don't even know what that is.
They swing around the pole. I don't know. It's a whole sport. I don't know.
Is it a division?
Yeah, it's a division. They got the pro pole division this year. He's got an anti-aging thing.
I thought you were making it up. The pro.
I'm not. No, Louis told me about it. Yeah, they got pole fitness. It's called. They don't call it pole dancing. They call it pole fitness. Yeah.
How do you become a champion in it?
You got to have the best pole routine. I guess I don't know. I don't know what the what they're actually judging. To be honest with you, but it's interesting. Anyway, I was going to say Chris Minnis does a great job there. He's been a friend of mine for many years, and I'm so happy. He was having trouble getting NPC sanctioned shows, and eventually, over the years, and I'm always like, you got to keep pushing, don't give up. And then he's friends with Lou Ferrigno Jr., and he hooked up with Lou, and they all decided, hey, we're going to do this all out. We're going to do this NPC. We're going to do the IFBB. I guess Lou made a phone call, and they're doing a great job. And Lou Ferrigno Jr. also is involved, but not as much as he normally is because he's obviously got this TV show. Isn't it amazing that Lou's son is going to be a Hollywood star?
Yeah, it is.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Lou's got to be so proud of him too because look, Lou had a big chip on his on what he was trying to do because he was getting into Hollywood, but his speaking voice wasn't up to par, because he was hard of hearing, and so that was a big people don't realize that was a big impediment that Lou had to overcome, but he overcame it with his personality. Early in his career, when he was a young guy, he didn't have a lot of opportunities. Nowadays, people love him. Everyone wants Lou on their TV shows, and because he's funny now, and he's still got a good physique and a persona, and everyone knows him as the Hulk. Still, he's bridged. Even he said it on the interview. He's bridged 3 generations. Usually guys like him no one would know who he was from the 70s, right? But he somehow has managed to stay relevant. He does the voice of the Hulk in all the Avengers movies. And he's on like Celebrity Apprentice, and he's on all these TV shows. I don't know how he gets on all this stuff because people like him, and he's a very well liked guy in Hollywood. Even though people in the bodybuilding industry will put him down because he charged for pictures. I mean, it's such bullshit. He's a celebrity. All celebrities charge for pictures. Okay, that's how he makes his living. Drop it already. I'm sick of hearing people complain about the $20 for a picture. The bottom line is that Lou is a person in Hollywood that is desirable, and he's going to be like a Betty White. Probably when he's 95 years old, he'll be on talk shows and stuff like that, and they'll be like, "Lou, hit him most muscular, do the Hulk." He'll be like, "Hulk smash," and he'll be doing it at 90, and people will love it. They'll think he's the coolest guy of all time. Everyone else will be dead. Lou will probably live to 120 years old.
He's got to go through that testing program that you went through.
He doesn't need any testing. He's got Italian genetics, and he takes perfect care of himself. He doesn't drink or smoke. He eats perfect. He eats his tuna and rice every day. He still goes to the gym. He'll live forever. You'll see. And he won't lose his mind either. He'll be completely clear-headed. So, once again, that was a great interview. You want to watch it, check it out. We're talking about the show and talk about what's going on in both all our lives. And like I said, I really always thank Lou because Lou when I was a kid, that was my hero. It wasn't Arnold. It was Lou. I was the Incredible Hulk fan, and I always wanted to be the Incredible Hulk. I got to be the Incredible Hulk at some point in my career when I was on the Conan O'Brien show. They painted me.
Did you tell Lou you were on the Conan O'Brien show?
Yeah, I think he knows. Yeah, I think I've told him that before. But the bottom line is that, he was my influence. I always said to people, I never really had guys I like worship. Like some people say, oh, he's my idol. I didn't really have idols, but Lou really was someone who I was like, well, it was like a star. Like I was like, oh, because I saw him as a kid. It wasn't just a bodybuilding thing. It was like a TV show I watched, and I was like, for me to be friends with him and interview him and interact with him the way I do, it's like almost surreal, given the fact that how important he was to my childhood. I would watch that and I'm sure you did the same thing. I'd watch that Incredible Hulk show, and it would be over at 9:00, and I'd have to go to bed after that. And at the end of every Hulk show, they would always play the sad music because at the end of the show, Bill Bixby, who played the David Banner, would be hitchhiking to go to some other new state because he had to remain anonymous, and they would play this
little sad music.
Yeah, and this really sad music, and I'd be like, and I would get sad because I knew how to go to sleep. And I remember it like it was yesterday, really, and that was. I couldn't wait. The Hulk was one of my favorite shows on TV. That and the $6 Million Man. So that was it was a special thing for me. Anyway, all right, we're going to wrap this up, Chris. We got a lot going on this coming week. We got some good iron debates coming up and some iron rages, and hopefully you'll be available to participate. Hold on, let me see if King Kamali texted me back before we go. Oh, he did, but then he didn't respond to me. I said, are you friends with Amin Ali? He said, I've known him since the early 90s. I saw your RxMuscle interview with him.
That means no.
So I said, do you get along with him now? He never responded. So maybe you're right.
See, the question is not... the question is, are you friends? So it's either yes or no.
Yeah,
so
I didn't ask him if he knew him. I knew he knew him.
You just gave a historical,
timeline
of him.
You're probably right. You're always right. Like you always tell me, you're very good at reading people. Better than me.
No. Well, that's why you have to ask him. So there's a story behind it. That's why he didn't want to say.
Well,
he probably knows you're on the radio show.
Yeah.
Right now at 12.
Or he knows I'm going to talk about
in
it.
The morning.
Yeah. Because he's friends with Robbie Lopez too, very good friends, and I'm very good friends with Robbie Lopez. And Robbie Lopez, is friends with Flex Wheeler, and so he always gets the Flex Wheeler scoop from Robbie, but he'll never tell it on the show because he always promises Robbie, oh look, Robbie, because he doesn't want to put Robbie in the middle,
Yeah.
But he'll give his comments on Flex Wheeler because King is a very forthright, open, minded guy. This is how I feel, and sorry, Robbie, but he won't give away the secrets or anything like that. So, everyone knows everyone, and what the truth is, people get insulted sometimes when we say things, but they really shouldn't because there's no ill will.
You're still not getting the branch warrant.
No, I'm still not getting the branch warrant. I'm still not getting. I'll never get the Arnold interview either. I'm convinced of it. Never.
Well.
Never.
Yeah, you know why? You would have got it by now.
I'll get it when Arnold's like 90 and he's senile, and it'll be like interviewing my dad.
White. It'll be like Betty White at that time.
feel like interviewing my dad. I'll be insulting people in like doctors' waiting rooms and stuff like that. So, oh my God! All right, that's it. I think, like I said, we're past the hour. We're actually recording on Monday, the proper day, because we've passed the 12 o'clock hour.
And it looks like the hurricane didn't hit Maine.
That's good. I'm glad that you're still intact. When will you be down for nationals?
4 days before.
Okay. Do we have? I ask you this on every show. Is your condo available?
Yeah, it's available.
Oh, it is. Okay, good.
Yeah,
That's good news.
Good news. Yeah.
Good news. I'll be there now. If it wasn't going to be available, I wasn't going. But I have a lot of clients in the show. I know you do too. So people expect us to be there to analyze everything that's going on. Even though most people don't want to hear our opinions, there are some people that actually enjoy them.
Well,
maybe you can go to the national meeting and you can get the NPC Maine championships. Do they have a bodybuilding show in Maine?
Yeah, I used to promote it.
I know you used to. Do they still have it? Is what my question.
Yeah,
is.
I think they might have it.
Oh. Do you ever show up at any shows locally?
No, I don't go. Forget it.
You're a local hero, though. I mean, you're probably the famous person from Maine, right?
No. But when I go to the cleaner, I guarantee. Well, the dry cleaner's listening now.
Yeah. Who would be the? Is there any pros from Maine? Like bodybuilding pros?
No.
Interesting.
No. Well, there could be. I don't know because there's so many. They give up the pro bikini and pro like.
No, I'm talking about bodybuilding pros, not.
Nasser somebody.
Yes, Chris. I lived in Maine for a little while because when I was with Greg Kovacs, I had to dig a tunnel from Canada, and I went into Maine. I thought I was in Niagara Falls, but I actually turned out I was in Maine. I got stuck there for a good month, and I could not find your phone number, so I had to find this guy, Billy. His name was Billy Bubbs, and he had put me up in his house, but he kidnapped me, and he was asking me to tell him stories about Dorian Yates, and I got stuck for 1 month, 30 days, and I only ate eggs that he hatched on his farm. He had these chickens, and I told him I needed protein, and he would not go get me chicken or beef, so I had to eat these disgusting eggs, and they were fertile eggs, and they had the embryo in there, and I am against this. My morality is against this, but I was starving, and I did not want to die, so I ate them.
Let me tell you I'll leave with a Jay Cutler story that made me think of the egg story.
Yeah.
I think he had to be like 18. He has to listen to the show because he will attest to it as it happened like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I went to visit him, and I had this I just bought this brand new car.
You probably still have it, right?
No, I forget what it was. Something Bostonian model. Something Bostonian. It was a big like, it wasn't a Cadillac, but it felt like a Cadillac. I mean, it was really nice. It was a gorgeous car. And I went to visit him on his father's farm. And he was living in a basement apartment. So he had told me, I had no cell phone at the time, I don't think. Can't imagine. He gave me the directions and he said, when you pull up, the chickens and the hens or the chickens, the hens, and the ducks and the geese, whatever, they're gonna attack you.
Oh my God,
Dave!
Did they?
When I pulled up the car, there were like 500 chickens. Every single part of my car was covered with birds. So he came out and he was wide then. You know, nobody was as wide as Jay, right? Yeah. You know, he came out and he had the Automic sneakers on and the hot skins.
Yeah. On a farm.
The hot skins tights, right?
Yeah.
And then so we went down to his apartment, which was in the basement. So the only window was like a 12-inch by 6-inch type window, and all the protein he ate came from the eggs from those damn birds.
Oh, he ate every meal like from the chickens?
Yeah, but they followed us in the apartment and to shut the door so that they wouldn't come actually down into
oh my
the apartment.
God.
He had to shoo them out and like kick them, and they were like trying to come into the apartment downstairs.
How long did he live there for?
Maybe like 4 or 5 months.
Oh.
And then he went from, I got to tell him to listen to the show. He went from that basement apartment in the farm to Eustace Street. And Jay's always been like that. He went to his first apartment. And the apartment was, he took care of it just like it was like his, $10 million house out in Vegas.
Probably gorgeous, yeah.
No, it was a little apartment, but it was, it was nice. And, he had this, he bought nice furniture and that's it. He set up shop there and he didn't have to go to, Kuwait. He when you go to, what he did, Dave? He ate, slept, and trained.
Yeah, that's
what you set up with the show.
Yep. What was he making money from doing?
18. He was 18 and he started to eat, sleep, and work. He had to pay his way. But for the most part, he would, that was it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Speaking of eggs, Mr. G, Rob Smalley's brother, Mr. G told me that when he used to train with Mahalik would tell guys to do crazy things just to see if they'd do it. He was eating like 56 whole eggs a day. He would hard boil all these eggs every day, every morning or every night before bed, and then he would eat like 6 or 8 whole eggs every meal or something like that. It was ridiculous. He had him do this for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He would have him do this for 2 weeks. I think he just wanted to test the insanity level of Mr. G to see if he would actually do it. Can you imagine eating 56 eggs every day? Whole eggs.
Yeah. I remember Steve Mihalik guest posing with Tom Platz once.
Wow. Was he good?
Oh God, he blew Tom Platz back to Santa Monica.
Really? Wow.
He was so big and hard. And you know what? I don't know I think he did the Night of the Champions that year, and he was like scrawny. So I don't know.
Well, that was when he got the car accident. His brother had to carry him into the gym to train his upper body. Like he was almost paralyzed. Yeah.
Okay, so then I saw him. I didn't know he had a car accident. So pre-car accident, I was there. I was probably 15. Yeah. It was Hamden, Connecticut.
Oh my God.
And Tom Platz came out, who I knew, right? You know the name Tom Platz.
Sure.
And I thought he looked unbelievable. And Steve Mihalik came out. And he posed to that song.
Final Countdown.
No, he posed to in America.
Yeah, I know. You're living in America.
Yeah. And he was crazy looking. And I didn't know who it was. People were like, oh, it's Steve Mihalik. I'm like, who's that? It's not. Let's see. On the top of my head, who do you know? Arnold, Lou Ferrigno. You know what I mean? You know a few names.
Sure, you're young, at that point.
But you didn't know, like, Steve Mihalik.
Well, he was great. I heard he would always over-diet for the shows and do kooky, crazy stuff.
Dave, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Because I remember seeing pictures of him, like, from that show. I'm like, what happened to him? He was freaky looking.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, we could talk forever, but we don't have forever, so we're going to cut it off here. Until next week, remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Good night, everyone.